Hello, America. My name is Joshua Gilliland, and I'm one of the two attorney bloggers for the Legal Geeks. And might I add, in the ABA Journal Top Blog 100 first year. Jessica, how you doing? And thank you, editors. Thank you, editors.
Thank you, ABA. Thanks to everyone who's voted for us. Hello, Josh. I am good. I'm here with my supercast, which, depending on who you talk to, is either the start of me turning into Darth Vader or the start of me turning into a superhero. And I'm just working on my superhero persona. I suggested to my son, Supermom. He did not think that was that cool. So I've got to work on a new one.
Well, newsflash, sons generally react that way. As for the daughters, they love you for a whole bunch of reasons, not just because you feed them. But, their reaction is supposed to think you are not cool. That's what children who are, 9 do.
I know. It is a bummer. I keep trying to convince them I'm cool. I'm like, other people think I'm cool, but yeah, they totally don't think I'm cool.
But that is not the theme of tonight's recording. Our theme is Christmas. And not making a Christmas list for me or for Jessica, even though we do have them.
And I have gifts if anybody wants to send them to me, or gift ideas.
But what to go shopping for an attorney? Because I love my family, and I admit I'm a complex person and difficult to shop for. That's why they ask for a list. But my dear sweet mother, who I miss terribly, when I was in law school gave me a valet. I don't know what she thought we did in law school.
What's a valet?
Big wooden thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's still in its box, and that was 14 years ago. I never put it together because I opened it, looked at it, I was like, I'm not going to use this. And we're difficult creatures to shop for. When you pass the bar, you get a briefcase, people give us nice pens, and there is a strong desire with the normal people to give an attorney a John Grisham book or any book about attorneys that are in pop culture. There are those of us who like that. Please think before you give one of those books to an attorney that you love. There are other options.
See, your family respects you more than my family respects me. I didn't get like any of the weighty tomes on lawyers or the legal system. I got all like the lawyer joke books, like, what do you call 99 lawyers buried in sand up to their necks? Yeah. Not enough sand.
Yeah, I've never liked those, and luckily they didn't do that to me.
I got 2 or 3 copies of that from my family.
I am kind of a serious person, so, but when you give a lawyer book to a lawyer, it's kind of like giving an auto mechanic a book on car repair. That we spend all day doing lawyer things because that's your job. We actually have other hobbies. And find out what other hobbies your lawyer has in their lives and gift according to those hobbies.
Mad Magazine, I think that'd be a good subscription. People give out magazine subscriptions, and I'm kind of thinking to counterbalance. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the whole law side, I haven't had Mad Magazine since I was a kid, but that was an awesome, that was my favorite, I guess is that a magazine? I wouldn't call it a comic book to read. I think that'd be a very fun subscription. In fact, I may have just come up with a gift idea myself for a family member. That's actually pretty awesome. It's still around, I think, right?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. All right, Mad Magazine. That's a good gift idea for everybody, not just the lawyers.
And if you're a smart aleck and you have a lawyer with a sense of humor in your life,
like me,
like Jessica or me, a subscription to Esquire would be hysterical.
Oh my God.
That would be well played, and if your lawyer does have a sense of humor, they will find that entertaining.
They would find that. That would be pretty funny. That's cute. I like that. I'll give you that one, Josh.
Thank you. So,
on the more practical side, you said briefcases, and we all get briefcases when we graduate from law school, and that is true. But for a really practical gift, if you really are looking for a present for a lawyer and want to be serious about it, the rolling briefcase, because, everyone gets a nice briefcase. I got this fabulous red leather one that I love, but most of the time when you're going into court or if you're going into a deposition or a big client meeting, you need more than what can fit in one of those briefcases. Plus, if you have your laptop, it gets very heavy. And the rolling briefcases, at least the ones I've seen so far, are hideous. Most of them, the handle isn't long enough. So like if I'm walking, with heels especially, the handle isn't long enough. So I would say like a good, stylish rolling briefcase would be a fabulous present to give if you could find one.
That is super cool. Also, nice iPad sleeves are good. Or if
Oh,
you,
that's true.
so there are nice ones out there that you could get that are stylish that aren't a man purse. So you're not and don't do like a hangover battle of it's a satchel, no, it's a purse. You can avoid that with some of the nicer iPad sleeves that are commercially available.
There are some cool sleeves. I wonder if Westlaw or Lexus, they should do them where it actually looks like the old legal books. You can pretend like, that's your own law book, 32 F sup 296 kind of thing.
That is a splendid idea, Jessica.
It is. I should sell that to somebody.
Or just make it. We could do that.
Or we could do an iPad sleeve for the Legal Geeks and have the Legal Geeks logo on it. Is that on Cafe Press yet? I haven't checked to see if that's sort of those iPad apps. We can start making it for our store.
You can. That should be there. I thought it was last time I checked. So
we may have to do that.
Boy, howdy. Or you can get them a Legal Geek T-shirts.
I was going to say, Legal Geeks outfits for everybody. The perfect Christmas present for everyone on your list.
Aprons, onesies, all kinds of options that you can.
Onesies are cute. If my kids were still little enough to let me choose their clothes, I would dress them in Legal Geeks wear.
You're a good mother.
I am. But this goes back to me, I'm not cool enough to pick out their clothes either.
Well, we all have our shortcomings. So one thing that you could do for an attorney, dress shirts. We go through dress shirts because we have to wear these all the time. And most people have 5, 6 good ones. Well, they wear and tear. Collars fade, ring around the collar because we are human. So good dress shirts are always a wonderful gift for an attorney. Now, not every lawyer wears a bow tie, but I am super easy to shop for because of these.
Do you get sick of it, though? Does everybody give you a bow tie?
No, because there are some gifts that I always associate with a particular person. If it's something that you wear, and it's one of the other options I'll list in a moment as well. But, if a particular family member gives a bow tie, I generally associate that tie with them. And so I always enjoy those type of gifts because of these. So I think it's a nice thing.
Okay.
The other one, if you have a little more spending power, are watches. So my school of thought is a watch is probably one of the most intimate gifts that you could give somebody because they wear it all the time and they will associate it with you. So there are plenty
That's a risky one, though. I actually have bought myself, I'm a big fan of watches, and I have bought myself over 3 Christmases, 3 different watches. But it would take a very special person to buy me a watch. They would have to know me very well to buy a watch that I would like. I mean, I am a big fan of watches, and none of mine are that expensive because I tend to lose them. But still, I have very specific taste. And so that is, I agree, a good watch, but you have to really know somebody to buy a watch for them.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset, I don't think there's anyone who knows me well enough to pick out the type of watch that I would want. And I'm not one to actually verbalize it and tell somebody this is the type of thing that I want.
Yeah. All right, you can whisper it to me later, and I'll post it on Twitter in case anybody wants to buy it for you.
I appreciate that. That's going to fall under a trade secret exception of some kind. Don't make me break out my evidence knowledge at this point in the evening. But yeah.
Please.
Indeed. So
I have to say, on the women's side, you're talking about dress shirts and ties and everything. And for women, obviously, I think it's much harder to buy clothes. Very difficult. But my wish list, or my biggest wish, if somebody came and said, I'm basically going to buy you Olivia Pope's outfit from Scandal, because that woman is the best professional dresser I've seen since Jennifer Beals on the L Word, because she actually had fabulous power suits. But Olivia Pope on Scandal, I mean, the whole show is fabulous, and I drool over it every week. But one of the many things I drool over is her wardrobe. So I'm like, that is a professional woman who is super stylish and fabulous. So I would kill to be able to have her wardrobe to walk into court, walk into client meetings, walk into depositions. That would be awesome.
There's nothing more terrifying in Western civilization than going clothes shopping for a woman. You are engaged in high-risk activity. You could strike out horribly, and from size to style, I would never do that because of the risk. Maybe
That's
it's
probably
scarf.
wise.
Maybe it's scarf.
Scarves are good.
Scarves are good. Maybe gloves. Maybe the
Gloves
little
are good.
hat. No way on God's green earth would I go power suit shopping for a woman and horribly. And I would just, no, unless there's a list and like the link to Macy's where to do it, that would be it.
A gift card to Neiman Marcus would probably be safe.
Yeah.
Barney's. Theory.
Yeah, smart, you can go for Macy's, Nordstrom, things like that, where they would have something that somebody could pick out and like, way safer.
Yes.
For me, Tommy Bahama shirts are safe. They're easy to shop for that way. Women high risk, so I would not do that just because
Oh my God.
the disaster factor I think is way too high.
Josh, I understand so much more about you now. Bow ties for work, Tommy Bahama for casual. I'm getting a more complete picture of you and your life.
I'm pretty straightforward. There's not a complicated man just like John Shaft. That's me. So the other things, basics. Socks are always popular. So.
Oh. All right, no. Growing up in northern Minnesota, that's all we got for Christmas. Every relative, you get socks. And to be fair, northern Minnesota is very cold, and actually some of those good winter socks can get expensive. But no, I don't ever want anybody to ever buy me a pair of socks again. That to me seems like the most basic, utilitarian. I'm not quite to the girl in love actually who's like, you don't get for Christmas things you need, you get for Christmas things you want. Obviously, she was trampy too. I'm not quite there. So I'm like, I do believe in giving gifts that, you do kind of need if they fill a hole. But something like socks, like the most boring, mundane, unless you're super creative, crazy, perfect for a person. Like if I got you Sea Scouting socks, or like I'd buy you socks with little sailboats on them, okay. But otherwise, no socks.
So when I was in college, for Christmas, now again, I gave my mother more than just one gift, but one of the gifts was a pair of socks from UC Davis. And she opened it and looked at it with the look of socks. And which I responded that Christmas morning, now you know how it feels. I was kind of proud of that. I mean, I actually did the setup and everything. So.
Oh, dear.
Just getting plain white socks, that is a little dull. But again, if it's going for the nice dress socks, because you do wear them a lot, you can wear through them. So again.
No, I still disagree. Maybe from a grandparents. If your grandparents want to buy you nice dress socks, okay. Nobody besides grandparents should be buying a pair of nice dress socks for you.
I wouldn't just give somebody a pair of dress socks. That does scream dialing in Christmas. And that would be pretty hurtful. But again, if you've given the nice, say, briefcase or book, whatever, then you can throw in a pair of socks. I would be okay with that.
A pair of socks inside the briefcase would be funny. Like that, okay. But if they're not inside the briefcase, then no.
So one of the most meaningful gifts that I got was one I couldn't find for myself, and I've been looking for a while. And my youngest brother got me the bust of John Quincy Adams, which is sitting across from me on my bookshelf in between the one of John Adams and Theodore Roosevelt. And so I have that as a symbol of being perseverant and working hard. Granted, I don't do what JQA did and getting up at 4 a.m. and writing in a diary, and when my right hand gets tired, writing in my left. I don't do that. But bust of James Garfield would be kind of cool. See one of those. So,
how about Millard Fillmore? Nobody ever wants a bust of Millard Fillmore.
Fascinating man, because he was the first VP to go become president who nearly got the nomination from the Democratic Party, which hadn't happened before for re-election purposes. Normally they just saw the VP as who became president as a filler, and then they picked somebody else at the nomination convention. He got really, really close. And then he played spoiler in one of the following presidential elections, some say for just revenge, But, he in part of the abolitionist movement and with the third-party candidates were coming up on the election of, that would have been, 1856, just to play the revenge game, which Martin Van Buren also did in 1848 with Charles Francis Adams, who was the son of John Quincy Adams and the grandson of John Adams, which I think the reason he picked Adams was because JQA died that year. And, and so, and it also united two different political parties in the Free Soil campaign, which did play spoiler, because that was one of the, second time that a Whig was elected and promptly died after eating a bunch of cherries. But that's just what I know off the top of my head.
I know. This is why I like hanging out with you, Josh. Every time we talk, even about something like Christmas presents, I learn something about American history. So you always make me a little bit smarter, and I appreciate that.
The days before Google, there was Google.
I would actually say, back to present ideas, one of the things that I think about each time I move, and I find all the cute, thoughtful, sweet little gifts or funny gifts that friends have given me that as an adult, I'm like, that's very nice. And then I put in a closet, and then I'm moving, and I'm like, oh, dang it, I have all this stuff to pack up and move. I've actually gotten very much for adults into consumable gifts, like things that don't just hang around. I've never done the whole Harry and David thing, but actually I have to say, one of the things that's great that comes out of Texas are the Texas Real Red Grapefruit, and they're actually perfectly in season right at the end of December, beginning of January. So you can order shipments of those for people. So I actually think gifts like that, like gifts of food, plants, things like that are actually really nice for people if you know that they're into that sort of thing, but especially food, because that way you're giving something to someone that, they can enjoy, they can think of you while they're consuming it, but then it's not something else to collect dust in their house and that they then need to pack up in a few years or something like that.
Yeah, the box of frozen steaks is always popular, or the case of wine. That's...
Wine is usually pretty good for lawyers. I do find most lawyers tend to like their wine.
So that can increase in cost. And so, it depends how well you know the person, if they are a close family member, is it a friend, is it a spouse? Because, again, if you married a lawyer and you're not a lawyer, we do need
Good luck with that.
We need to understand how we roll, and I applaud you for sticking through it. But one of my favorite gifts as well are cufflinks.
Cufflinks are good.
So you do have some good accessory items for suits, and cufflinks are good. I have Hammer ones, I have Doctor Who ones, I have traditional ones. So
is it USS Enterprise? Do they have USS Enterprise cufflinks?
Yeah, I think they do. I do not have a set, but I think they do. I thought I saw that on, it might have been StarTrek.com, or it could have been on ThinkGeek. I don't remember which, but I thought I'd seen those in the past.
Very cool, and that actually made me think of another website that I just discovered. They don't yet have any of the books that I really am obsessed with, but there's a new website. Well, I don't know if it's new. I discovered it recently for old books that they take the covers and put them like into T-shirts. It's called, I think, outofprint.com. It's like I saw one, for Orwell, 1984, and they turn the book cover into a T-shirt, and then you can also get some other knickknacks. But I thought it was very cool. They didn't have, if they had Alice in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass or Isaac Asimov or a couple of my others, or The Black Stallion even, I would get that. But so far they don't have any of the books I'm obsessed with as T-shirts. But I think, a lot of lawyers tend to be into books generally. And, of course, as anyone who's literary, I thought that'd be a fun website. I can't remember if they had Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. They did have On the Road. But anyway, I think that's actually a really neat website and a neat idea to turn some of the books you love into T-shirts.
That is pretty cool. And there are some that I would enjoy as well, because the retro T-shirt look that has either comic books on it or action figures, those are fun. Because lawyers aren't always in lawyer mode. They sometimes relax. And
we're fun people. Woo woo.
T-shirts are good. Really, it's okay. There are those who have a tough time believing that lawyers enjoy free time, and we do. And so,
well, some of us do struggle with it, but that's what the wine is for.
I always like working. And so even though this is repeal day, I do prefer having more temperance, because I Yeah, I would encourage temperance on repeal day, but again, I'm old
I
fashioned.
would encourage moderation on repeal day. I think that was the whole lesson we learned from prohibition. Moderation. Let's not go to excess either way.
Yeah, but you look at the DUIs
All
and
right, we've had these arguments before. A glass of wine a night, quite frankly, especially as a lawyer, is probably going to help you in the long term because stress is going to kill you if nothing else does. So,
here's something for lawyers: gym memberships. I don't know if they would actually use it, but it sure couldn't hurt. You could do it to a dude. I would not give a female lawyer a gym membership without.
yoga though might be okay because yoga's not saying that. That's just saying it's a general health thing. That's not really commenting so much on the body. Yoga's just like you're stressed, you need to de-stress, go do yoga.
A bicycle. I mean, there are things that you could do that would be physical activity that encourage health as opposed to sitting in a chair all day long working. Now, a good buddy of mine for my birthday gave me one of the lower back massagers that what goes onto the office chair, and that's nice because when you sit for like 4 hours straight, that's kind of nice to not be uncomfortable. So.
One of the women in my office, actually, she just got the inversion thing actually for her office because sitting all day is so bad, messes up her lower back. So she has that inversion thing.
There are those. I mean, there are the ergonomic like hand rests as well, and other things that can be very simple. And again, that should not be the only gift. Like if there is a female lawyer in your life, giving her one of those should go with jewelry of some kind. That's just FYI. So understand the stocking stuffer versus the work stuff. So
It's all about balance.
yeah, think before you give. So
that's right.
So those are the main points of practicality is good and recreation. So when you got to understand the lawyer in your life for what they like, because a Doctor Who gift is probably a safe bet with me.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah, it is. And Jessica agrees.
Wonder Woman and Darth Vader always safe bets with me.
So are you happy with the selection of the of who?
It's great to read that up. I don't know. I mean, I looked at her. She's cute. She was, in the Israeli army, of course, like they all have to be. So I'm like, she must be, maybe a little bit tough. So I don't know. I haven't gone to see her. What she was in some other movie, right? Was she in one of the Fast and Furious or something? So I haven't even seen a clip of her yet. I'm just happy that Wonder Woman is making an appearance at all in a movie. I mean, it's sad if it's just going to be a cameo or a supporting role, but I guess we have to start somewhere. So.
Then and they are trying to create their universe, and
yes.
So there were like a bunch of hateful comments, like on one of the sites that announced it, and like that bothered me because it's like, okay, sure, her name's Gal, and that is a touch ironic, but Israeli army, she's done a bunch of action stuff. I did not like the one cheesecake picture that appeared on one of the sites with her announcing her because it was like, really? You're just going to make her an object right out of the gate?
I know, they better not do that.
I don't think they will do that in the movie. And just because one website chose a stock image like that to debut, well, Nerdist did not.
Okay,
and
good.
So I do think it's a good choice. I wish her success. And I really hope they have a knockout script. Did you watch Arrow last night?
No, I've never watched Arrow. I've always meant to get into it, but I feel I'll catch up on Netflix at some point.
They introduced Barry Allen, who's the Flash. And so it pre-Powers, but they did a nice job, and they talked about the death of his mother, and which sounds a lot like At the Hands of Reverse Flash, so they're working at the time travel angle and all that. So they're taking the baby steps to build the origin story and to lay it out. And eventually you get his powers on a spin-off or own movie or how that's going to play out, but I thought they did a nice job with the character and nice way to lay a backstory and without having to do like the full-blown origin story in a movie.
Right.
When they do the Flash movie, it's just giddy up and go. That would be nice.
Look at this. All kinds of good presents for Christmas.
Yeah. So Flash toys, Wonder Woman toys.
Wonder Woman.
Lawyers do have hobbies, so learn your lawyer's hobby.
Learn your lawyers. Love your lawyers.
We are people too. The more you know. So with that, we will have some more Christmas posts this season, but everyone, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and stay geeky, America. Stay geeky.